of the Mumbai F&B space, and I think all of you are here to talk to them and hear their peace of mind. I'll start off by introducing our very first speaker, Mr. Prashant from Bellona Hospitality. He is a director. He has been building experience-led restaurants across India. He's the founder of Ishaara, which is known for its inclusive dining and purpose. Give a huge round of applause to Mr. Prashant. Next up, we have Mr. Tarak Bhattacharya from Bellona. Tarak is the executive director and CEO of the brand, which is India's most loved dessert brand, and we all agree to that. He's been leading brand innovation, expansion, and scaling across 150 plus outlets. So give a huge round of applause for Mr. Tarak. Perfect. Next up, we have Mr. Gordon, the CEO of the Nutcracker and Noah. Gordon, with a premium dining brand focus across on refined food experiences, Gordon has been successful in driving brand identity, consistency, and customer loyalty all across the board. Nutcracker, as we all know, is one of the leading brands in Mumbai, and we are very, very thankful that you could make it to the night. Give a huge round of applause to Mr. Gordon as well. Perfect. I'm thankful that you made it to the traffic, Mr. Siddhant. So we also have a fourth speaker, Mr. Siddhant, who is basically the director of Naturals Ice Cream. Naturals is a legacy brand. I think everyone sitting in the room has had a taste of it. The tender coconut is legendary, and they have built a brand that is beyond loyalty, which is the title of the session. So I don't think he needs any further introduction. Please welcome Mr. Siddhant.
Right here we are just setting up the frame. We are just setting up this frame.
Can you put the mic quickly?
Now I hand over the mic to the host of this session. And
thank you everyone
Hello, everybody.
for your patience. I hope you guys have this stuff actually Alright. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. We're really excited to have an evening with a lot of insightful conversations. So a lot of people in the room are probably scaling their brands, starting their brands. They're either marketing heads or running their own brands. So it's a very exciting group that we've got here. Our agenda today is nothing. It's very simple. We wanted to bring some of the F&B leaders of the city to come talk about how they are evolving with the ever evolving landscape, especially with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? How do you stay relevant and still be, are able to adapt to the changing customer expectations in a new world that we are living in? So, this is more like we want to unpack. You guys have all scaled multiple brands or single brands, have a very different perspective to the world. And what we really want to try and get is your honest perspective. It could be a very healthy debate for all of us to kind of do, and just want to get your perspectives on how you see things from where you sit to the world, right? So super excited for this conversation. We'll try to make it slightly more interactive. So for anyone in the audience, while the conversation goes on, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. This is not a session. This is more of a conversation. We are trying to really, learn from each other and grow together. So thank you so much once again. I want to start with the first question that I want to do is, I want to do a quick brand intro for all of you, and tell me what brand DNA means to each one of you. You guys all run very distinctive brands. So just a quick intro about the brand that you're associated with today, and what does brand DNA mean for you?
Go ahead guys, good evening. This is Gordon here from the Nutcracker, and more about the Nutcracker. Our brand DNA talks about guest experience, the food. I mean, what customer wants, what they feel when they enter our venue. And our core value reflects in terms of, how it reflects purely based on the dining experience what they get. And I think that's been our focus, and that will always be. There's not been any changes in that, and that's what we will stick to. So that's been our goal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm Siddhant from Naturals. It was started by my father. I'm the second generation now. And for us, DNA, when we started off 40 years back, and me and my brother who joined the business, we were just focusing to continue the legacy, the DNA. For us, the DNA is, people usually say farm to fork for the restaurant. For us, it's tree to tree.
Tree to tree.
So for us, fruits matters a lot. Whatever is grown on the tree, how do we pick up the best fruit and then drip magic and make ice cream and serve to our customers. So that's been our DNA. So with this note, I think
Hi, good evening all. My name is Tarak Bhattacharya and I run a brand called My Whole Moments. DNA is very simple. We say that biting to happiness every day, every moment, and to cheer, be it great occasions like your birthday, anniversary, etc. But also passing out from school, even failing, you bite into our happiness. So I think it's moment for all. So that's the DNA of our brand. Be it happy, be it a happier occasion, we are all there to take it over. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Prashant. I run 6 brands. So, it'll be a bit preachy and a slightly longer answer. So, when you're building a brand, it starts in your head, then it comes down to paper, and then it comes down to reality. And when it starts in your head, it is pristine, it's very utopian, it is like the best thing that you ever could make, right? And then when it comes down on paper, you make compromises. So there is a gap. You say, ye nahi ho sakta hai, ye ho sakta hai, and all that. And then when it comes to reality, you make more compromises. It's like selecting a uniform, when you're selecting a uniform for your team, you see a model wearing that, and then you see your team wearing that. It's two very different things. So there's a gap. So in reality, there's a second gap. And by the time it reaches the customer after training, there is a third gap and a fourth gap and a fifth gap. So the gap between what you thought to what you ended up is a huge gap. But your marketing team doesn't understand that. They remember the statement that you gave to them, that I want to create something spectacular, etc., etc. And they've told the customer that. So the customers come expecting that, what was in your head. And what he's getting is a very diluted version of that. But if our intent is to give the customer what you thought about, that is the integrity of purpose. And if you stick with that integrity of purpose, and I always say no matter how many days of trial and training you do, your training actually begins with the first customer walking in. So it takes time, but if your intent is to reach there, then that is the DNA of your brand. You can compromise with your personality, your traits, your behavior, your way of doing things, but you cannot compromise with what you thought when you started that brand. So each of the brands that I do obviously have that integrity of purpose. I'm not saying I've reached there in any of them, but the intent is that at some point we'll reach there. So for me, that really is the DNA where it starts from. And don't forget that, because if you forget that, then it will be all over the place by the time you want to make corrections and you don't know what to correct it to. So there's a very simple model called the gaps model, which shows all these gaps. And if any one of you is starting a brand, start with your own thinking and believe in it, and then you go ahead with it. So.
Thank you, Prashant. That was. So I have a follow-up question to that, Prashant. Maybe all of you could answer. You mentioned about brand DNA. What part of your brand DNA is non-negotiable? And what did you realize over the years that this is the part that must evolve as a brand DNA, which probably was not when you started out, but today it's, when you look back, you realize that it had to evolve. If you could, touch base on that.
Because integrity and commitment are more important than capability and skill, because you can build the other two. And the second was, it is important for businesses to generate wealth for society in addition to individuals. So this is something that I will not compromise on. I mean, we are all sitting here because we've all, I would use the word, could be politically incorrect, but conquered the pandemic. We're on the other side, and we're all here. So we've survived. So during the pandemic was a time when you had to really stay true to your brand, if you could survive that. So when I say that it's important for generating wealth for society in addition to the individual, and you're wearing those stars on your shoulder, then you better stick to it. So I think that the values. I really feel there have been so many instances uh, and influences that tend to shake your values, and they're very attractive. And if at that time you let the values brick-wall you against those influences, uh, then that again comes back to the previous answer of integrity of purpose. So the integrity of purpose is something that's unshakable. I mean, you have to go back to what you started with. I mean, if you think of naturals, and everyone says naturals, I think of a coconut tree, and he said from tree to something we said, right? Tree to tree. So, I mean that comes out, right? So that's it. Really.
Yeah. Thank you. Tarak, for you, what is one brand DNA that's not negotiable?
I think sacrosanct, definitely the product has to be sacrificed for us, followed by definitely service, etc.
Thank you.
I wish Dad would have been apt for answering this one because he's the true founder.
Yeah.
But I know if I will ask this question to him, he'll say, जब मैंने शुरुआत की थी तो it was for money, more things,
Yeah.
you know, free to free. What we are talking right now with all these MBA language code, पैसा बनाना. That was the thought process. But then one thing, what he always used to say, I think that stuck to our DNA is be different. You have to be कुछ हटके करना है. So those days it was vanilla. Ice cream is phenomenal with vanilla. We are the only ice cream brand probably in the world which doesn't have vanilla in our menu. So be different. You know why? Who set this rule that vanilla ice cream has to be there? So we don't do that. You know. So कुछ हटके करो, कुछ अलग करो. Fruits was probably a missed opportunity at that time. Today everyone's doing fruits, maybe. So that keeps us on the toes to find the next coconut. That's what I tell my team. Okay, we found coconut. What's next? Maybe it can be Pessibamons, Amarfas, which is trending right now.
Yeah.
It was never on number game. It was always, since we opened inception, it's not that we don't have backing of funds, we do have, but it's always been, we have been very minute and detailing in terms of, being very careful about when we open, not to lose on that loyalty. In a sense, like, we opened the first one and now we have opened the sixth Nutcracker since 2014. I mean, we wanted to be consistent. We wanted our customers to feel that we are not lost in compromising in our standards and all that things. And moreover, we wanted things which we are authentic, not ever fake things and all. That doesn't mean that others are doing that. But yes, I mean, we wanted to follow that. And so far now also, it's also, since we've opened last away, which was just 4 days back, and we said that we've got the numbers still in place. But we want to go slow. We are thinking at this moment to go back to basic, to correct what basically if we have done any errors or mistake, and get that back to the way the original Nutcracker was. So I think that's been always there. The second thing, what we never do for brand is we never are into discounting our personalities, our brand image, and that is something which we don't want to be in that race. We don't want to be in that game because we are very confident. Our brand, we believe that it's very powerful, and that will get automatically our customers. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I think we've got a quick context and intro for all the brands and all the panel to understand what loyalty really means in today's age. Gordon mentioned about not being discounting, moving away from discounting, and all of you run very distinctive brands. So want to kind of touch base about how has loyalty evolved over the last 5 years. So I have a specific question, Gordon, for you. Nutcracker and Noah are both deeply experience-led brands. How do you convert a first-time visitor into regular without relying on discounts? You mentioned that, so would love to unpack that.
So, to answer to that, I mean, the first thing is that 5 years back, much before, I think Tarak and we worked together much more than 15 years now, yeah, together.
Wow.
And then loyalty was about repetitive, now it's about preference. I mean, guest has a lot of options, there's so many outlets now. Earlier there weren't so many, but now there are. But on a Friday night or on a Sunday breakfast time, if you see that guest still comes to your place, that's loyalty to me. I mean, that is something, that's more like emotional, not transactional. That's what we believe, and that's what we always strive for. It's beyond the loyalty points, and it's more about the savings and customer what they want. I mean, see, customer has a choice. I mean, they only align with your brand, because they like, they have the choice, so many venues they can choose, but they come because they are loyal, they understand, the brand value of your space. And that's always been a key focus. I think, obviously, there are loyalty programs in place, and that can be there, but that has to, because they have been dedicated to you, so you need to pamper them, you need to make them special in that space. So that's what we keep doing. But in the end, loyalty programs doesn't get loyal customers. That's what I believe. I think it's the food, the experience on flow, and you do your right thing, automatically customers will follow.
Absolutely, and is consistency more important than novelty for you?
Yeah, consistency is more important than loyalty. If you're consistent
Novelty.
in novelty, I would say both hands in hands. If you have a loyal customer, which comes into your venue, and they get those kind of special treatment and all, obviously they go for that.
Yeah, thank you. Siddhant, Naturals has been around for decades, and it enjoys deep multi-generational loyalty. I know my father has been my grandfather, so I think there has been a multi-generation loyalty that of the brand that you've experienced. How do you continue engaging your existing loyal customers while also appealing to new digital-first customers?
I think the word loyalty has also changed. I mean, there are a lot of meanings now. It was about 80 grand hai, wohi khaunga. That was probably royalty. Now royalty has changed. Now, I think it's heading towards experiences, like you said. I also feel loyalty is more to scarcity now. The more rare you are, more loyal you become. And I'll give you some examples at BT. But what we've seen is loyalty is, probably you're not loyal to a brand anymore. Maybe you're loyal to a product or a service or that one item probably that makes you different. So for me, if the best way to know that where are my loyal customers are when are seasonal. Let's say Sitafal. When during the season it's the most sold. But let's say when it's not in season and then people come and ask for it, that's loyalty for me. So when people ask you the right question, I think that's loyalty. Seasonal is now loyalty and scarcity. And I feel the newer generation, I think then for them loyalty has become experiences. So we have one store in Juhu, which we call it Naturals now. It's more of an experiential store. So we have one product there, Targola, which is ice apple, known to Mumbaikars. So we serve it with the malai, it's a Sunday form. So people are loyal to that experience, because you will not find it anywhere, any other store. You'll get that at one store. So people come, they travel all the way from Borivali or from Churchgate just for that one service. So loyalty is to that. That is what I meant. Scarcity, only available in one store. Sometimes we also become selfish. Why don't we go all out? But then no, then we might lose the charge, right? We can do Sirapal 365 days, but we have kept it seasonal. But that's what Mother Nature wants during the season, what's in stock. Right now it's all about berries. We have that in our menu. So I feel loyalty is now not the brand centric, it's product, the experience, and now scarcity.
Do you guys agree to this? Do you have a different perspective to this, Prashant, Tarak?
Both gentlemen, I think loyalty has gone behind this point, discounting, tier format, etc. What is emerging as a loyalty more than anything else is we understand the consumer, and we understand the consumer now through Reelo more than anything else. But I think it is more like a connect with the consumer is very important. What you do as a brand, etc. What product are you selling? So I think things have gone beyond what I'm saying, discount, loyalty, etc. And I'm sure the customer behavior is very, very engaging now, and we need to know how they are behaving. Whether they come every day, don't come every day, come after 3 months, or never come back after the product. So I think it's very important to tackle that. But I still feel beyond loyalty also that you need to place a lot of role, that what you're selling to the consumer, what they like, what they don't like. I think that's very important to create a community of people who actually understand your product, and that's how you sustain also in the market.
For me, loyalty is when the customer thinks of you when he's thinking to going out or ordering food. So in his decision-making process or at that time, your brand comes to his mind, so that's loyalty. How can you achieve that? Honestly, we've all grown old trying to find the answer. But every restaurant has certain signature dishes, signature sequences or moments of magic and moments of truth in the sequence of service that people remember you by. But now loyalty is so fickle because we have so much choice. And it's okay. If there are 10 restaurants in your neighborhood, then of course you're losing out, but you're also gaining. So the Indian consumption story, thank God for the Indian consumption story. When I was growing up, I used to always get embarrassed that, oh my God, I belong to the most populated country in the world. But now, isn't that great? I mean, every product has a market. There are 1.6 billion people for us to serve. Just serve. I mean, if we are looking for loyalty, then, oh my God, look at the other countries. I mean, you drive for miles to seat one car. So we are actually better off. If you keep to your product, if you make sure it's good, if you believe in it, I'm sure people will follow, right?
Sure. And do you think loyalty today is more about habit?
It is about both. Emotion for my brands comes naturally, obviously. We play on EQ. EQ is always going to override IQ. Habit, but of course, I mean, there are certain places that if you pass by, you cannot just stop from going in and having a meal or something. So it's about both. It cannot be singled out, and I think equally at times, right?
Yeah.
So I think you know to sustain the brand.
Yeah, true.
I have a question for you, Tarak. Donuts are often impulse or indulgence led. How do you move beyond transactional visit and build an emotional sense of loyalty? Especially
I don't know. We do a lot of interaction with our consumers on a literally day-to-day basis, be it in terms of any kind of topping activity in the malls, or asking them what kind of donuts flavor you want in the next session. We do a donut day once in a year where we sell our product at half the price. So actually, when you consumers endorse your brand, new store opening is a big one for us where we actually ask between 50 and 100 people, depending on the size of the store, to come and stand in a queue with the orange t-shirt so that they get 1 month of donut free. So I think consumer engagement is very key beyond everything else, and that's how we are relevant to the consumer today. And they remember you. Otherwise, it's over if consumer don't remember you. So you keep on engaging with them on a day-to-day basis, month-to-month basis. In terms of flavor festival changing every day, be it Christmas, Holi, Diwali, anything, So you keep on telling them we exist. So that's how we are relevant today.
Thank you. So I want to talk about bit about just consume food, as you all spoke about, right? It's a lot about experience, identity, belonging. How do you become, the brand that they think about on a Sunday brunch, for example? And I want to dig a bit more into how that's changing the way you build brand today, or how you express to appeal to these new audience, right? So the question for everyone: younger diners today deeply care about experiences, as you all spoke about, social validation, and brand values. How do you adapt your storytelling as a brand that resonates with them without sounding forced? So how have you adapted the way you communicate your brand story today to appeal to this young audience?
And begin adapting and behaving on the same fashion as what their demands are. Obviously, we don't talk to them. I think what we do is our outlet in terms of our service, our food, and the entire experience does the storytelling. And and that's what they adapt basically. And if you're not doing that right thing, then I don't think your Instagram captions are covering all that. So I think the Gen Z is more about. I mean, they don't want anything to be fake. I mean, something what they see is basically is they want to know what is behind the scenes stories. They want to know in terms of the actual. They want to know what is new, what is trending, and they want to be first. They want to be part of that, and they want to feel the experience, and then they want to be the first one to post it. So I think this generation is, I mean, whatever we do right now, I think it's more purely it's more about story, about the experience, it's about whatever you do, it has to be created in those platforms. So I think that's what we have been focused on at Nutcracker. We have introduced the matcha. I think everybody started talking about matcha. On Friday start coming in, and I personally don't like the matcha taste. But yes, we basically see that was trending, and we didn't jump in quickly to follow that trend. Obviously, we researched it, saying that what exactly this matcha is all about. We went to the vendors, we sourced out the best of the best quality matchas. We went to a beverage person, curated some good drinks around it, added that to our menu. We did some engagements around it for the and also made basically our outlets in a way which is more appealing, and people, it becomes a talking story. So I think that really attracted this Gen Z alpha generation right now, and then they started coming in. Obviously, that's how we worked on. I mean, we don't jump into the race saying that okay, now everybody's doing it, we have to do it. We obviously research. We have an entire R&D team which do it, and then we follow it.
Siddhant, how you at Naturals? I know you launched a new Naturals Now Experience Center as well, but be as raw, direct, honest as possible. How do you? What's your approach to storytelling as a brand today to be able to be relevant, especially with the generation?
I think storytelling is the most important thing. Now that is why you see a lot of brands who now have their own way of communicating, and anything the credit goes to the consumers, because the real love comes when you show it, right? When you behave in a way. So that is why a lot of the founders are now actively, on social media talking about the day in their life, how they are building their brand. That's what I think is all part of storytelling. And then you resonate to that person and then talking to the product. So for us, the biggest storytelling elements, we did an exercise in 2016 when we did a little bit of a rebrand. And for us, we realized our stores are the best platform for us to share about our story. So we use our stores as a platform where we talk about our sourcing story, where we source the milk from, how do we make our ice cream, what is our ice cream. A lot of people don't know. And what do we stand out for? So we make ice cream using 3 ingredients. So these are some of the storytelling aspects. So we took the other way. Because since we have our stores, we went offline first, and now that's coming out of the social. Usually people do the other way, they go social first, and then they implement it through their offline. But we took the other way. We did it offline first, and now the storytelling is coming on YouTube, social media, and then people can connect the dots. So it definitely is a very, very important for us. Sourcing is very, very important because we have right control from directly from the farms. How do we get the best, the harvest, even the milk, and then how do we churn it in our factory and ensure that it's supplied to all our stores. So that is the part. And talking about the Gen Z, which I completely agree. One thing that probably we are seeing is the FOMO culture, fear of missing out. I think the Gen Z, they want to be the first man to, post about it. I don't know whether they like it or they love it. They want to be any new brand.
Validation.
You might be knowing Bellona.
Yeah.
You see the line outside. They want to be the first one. In Delhi, they did a small pop-up. So they were there was nothing, and there was like in Delhi, people are queuing up for dosa. Amazing. So what I feel is they want to be the first one to tag. That's the first struggle. You get your customers, but then the product has to be equally good. Right? Why will they come to the
Again.
same? So I think I just add about the FOMO culture which they bring in. I think if you guys track it in your respective brands, I think there's you can build on.
Thank you. Tarak, anything to add to that?
Anyway, it's very important to focus on the delivery model also. How you actually cater your product to the consumer in a proper way, be it in terms of packaging, I think is the biggest one, and how it gets transferred. Because it gets transferred in a weird way through the aggregators, and that's how you have to actually control. It's a very, very important touch point today, I think, for the consumer and for the delivery, how you unpack the box, etc. There's a lot of merit to the brand actually and to the product what they are giving. So I think apart from this, I think very important to look at the store also. The touch points. For us, I think there are stores like we have a kitchen where we actually show how a dough gets into a dough form. So we actually discuss that, we actually coach people on that. And obviously then comes the delivery part which I was talking about. So apart from this, I think two touch points are very important. Your own store which is heavy on the business where actually people come and endorse the brand, see the brand, seek the brand, eat the brand. And then obviously go to delivery where they actually unpack your product, eat the product in a certain way. Store your product and then re-eat it and re-eat and eat it. So I think these are the two important touch points apart from the generally what they just discussed.
So I believe we were Gen Zs at some point of our generation. And our parents and all the elders thought that they knew what we wanted. And we looked at them and we thought that no, they don't. So no matter how hard we try, we think that we know what they want, and then they look at us and they just smile and wonder that, what are you doing? So sometimes I feel just don't try too hard. Be true to what you're doing. They might be more aware because they're living in a much more aware world. But if you're just trying to be young, then you're not. It's very clear. And there is a lot of people who are in the age group, who will still be there giving you the critical mass that you need. You've got a legacy. If you're a legacy brand, see, brands have survived in India. There are brands which have survived 50 years, 70 years, 100 years. They've gone through a cycle of new generations. But they've survived because they've stuck to the basics and the fundamentals and the values and the ethics and the principles and the boundary conditions, everything that they started with. So, in the midst of all of this, you cannot lose direction. So whether it's the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and a whole lot of things, I've seen brands try to steer away, and you realize that, and they realize that, oh my God, how will we go back now? Not if we lost this, we've lost the previous ones as well. So the only thing is, believe in yourself. I think believe is one word that comes to my mind every now and then. Just believe. Because there's so many instances in a founder or an entrepreneur's life that you wonder. My colleague who's with me was just telling me earlier today when we were just waiting for this to start that are you scared at times? And he himself said, I'm scared so often. And I'm scared so often that it comes naturally to me. So you might be so successful, and if you have a great day of business, and then I tell the team the next day that end of a race is the start of another one. And they're like, oh my God. After the long holiday, then you have a Tuesday. And then you have a Wednesday. And then you're wondering, oh my God, I had the best Monday of my year. And then you have the worst Tuesday of the year. And the worst Wednesday of the year. So it's just okay. I believe this is progress. I believe this is progress. I also believe this is progress. Because that's going to be, right? Because this is progress with reality. It's okay. They're there. But so are we. It's not that Gen Zs are the only ones allowed to go out.
What keeps you awake, Prashant?
No.
Running multiple brands. One or two things that keeps you awake? One line answer.
I'm blessed with good sleep. That's good.
Nothing keeps you awake.
I don't know. See, there are, I cannot say nothing keeps me awake. Our business is so short term. We have 2 life cycles of our product in a day. It's not like making a car, which is like 6 months in the making and then you sell it. You get the raw material, you process it, you cook lunch, you sell it. You get the raw material, you process it, you cook dinner, you sell it. So we have 2 entire life cycles of a product in a day. So many things go wrong. There's so many moving parts. And then something happens and then you get a call at like 11 o'clock and then you lose sleep over it. And like I said before, I get afraid so much that it's now second nature. Then you say, okay, we'll tackle it. And then it helps, when you say, all is well, all is well. And then there's so many moments. So, yeah.
One line from each one of you. Tarak, what keeps you awake?
To achieve more success tomorrow. So I'm always
Siddhant.
So right now, my 1-year-old son keeps me awake. But I think a lot of questions keep me awake. What is next? How do I scale up? What am I doing to be better than, let's say, yesterday? How do I improve? So it's for me, for us, we never talk about what competition is. For us, if I'm doing X, am I improving? Am I beating my own thing? That's what we practice. That's what we work on. So there are right questions. What am I doing? Have I done something that has impacted someone's life? These are the questions that probably bring me away. With that, I'll just have it.
For me, it is more about the demand and the demand not only from the customers, also from the team. I think the moment you blink, suddenly there's loads of things which is already somebody else is doing. So you need to be in that particular, you need to catch up on that speed. So I think it's important that when right now we are sitting in Jan, we just finished our winter menu. Suddenly we are discussing about what's next. Summer is approaching, IPL is coming in, then maybe something else is coming in, something else is coming in. So I think that momentum, I think, keeps on clicking, back of their head, and that does really, bother. So it does basically helps me to stay awake. It doesn't mean that I don't sleep. I do sleep. I have a proper 8 hours sleep. But yes, I mean that thing which keeps me, charged, and that I translate back to the team, and then that transforms the customers. So that's what it is.
Thank you. I think the concept the constant pursuit to kind of, be relevant and survive. I think survival is a very important thing for every, brand today. If you survive one more day, I think, you last long enough to live the day. Sorry? Yeah, exactly. So we spoke about loyalty, we spoke about identity, we spoke about experiences. Underneath all of this is also data or technology, not as a hero, but as an enabler. Hospitality has always been about human connections. I want to kind of know how, the human side of hospitality, but where technology comes and plays a role in each of your brand today. So Gen Z or any customer today expects you to know them, not guess. We're all living in an internet-first world where if I go to Amazon, they know me, they know my preferences, they know everything, right? Without going into tools or anything, but what's the real unlock behind personalization that you create for your customers? Any specific example, any unique thing that happens specifically in your brand, where you're able to make the guest feel like the brand knows you, right? Or you were able to create that kind of a personalized experience for them. We can go in any order.
Anyone? So I think loyalty plays a very important role in this kind of situation. Just to know the consumer, it is like literally like a KYC at this point of time. But whether it gets including to the consumer is a question to be answered today, because you keep on marching on SMSs to the consumer, which by legal also now is a derogatory thing for everybody, and it is limited. But I think just keep on telling about your product, about your brand, keeping on upping them with that doesn't work. Loyalty program or anything will be adapt has to work seamlessly behind us to perceive at all. And keeping on telling the brand what the consumer is liking, not liking, what they are wanting to do, what is their birthday anniversary, and just nurture them. Instead of forcing them to do things between loyalty or discounting or preferred choices, etc., or to any gathering or any festival or telling them what we should do. I think it has to be a little bit non-intruding for the consumer at this point of time. It has to work seamlessly behind to tell the brand and the brand people how they have to behave with the consumer. I think that's very important. I think that's my take. Otherwise, again, I said the same thing. The point, the tier system is all passing.
Yep.
It's gone the train already. Only I think the airline gives tier system, and that's it. I think. It's very simple today.
Prashant.
So when we were training people for Ishaara, so being in restaurants all my life, I realized that you have to push your staff to go talk to that customer, welcome that customer, tell your manager, go talk to people. But people who come in hospitality are all possibly forced. At least I was forced into hospitality because I didn't get through the army. My father was in the Indian Army, so this was my by chance. So I consider myself an introvert, so I will not approach someone to talk to. And then God played this game and then put me in a restaurant, and I had like 200 people to talk to every day. And then go and talk to my wife later as well, tell her everything that happened in the restaurant which she was not interested in. But so I used to find it so difficult to tell people and push them to customers. But when we got a team of people, if you know that Ishaara is about people with hearing disabilities, so the staff cannot hear, it was difficult for me to keep them away from tables because they were so eager to connect. They smile more, they are more focused, they are more intuitive, they want to know more about you. So it was so difficult, so I designed a sequence of service that after you do this much, you have to come back. But they would not, so I used to enforce it. Finally, I had to tell them, okay, you can tell the customer your name. And I purposely did not give them name tags because they have sign names. And so to give you an idea of a sign name, one of them is called Krishna, so his sign name is this. So they have sign names for each other. Customer will not understand that. But I said you can tell him your name, you can write it down. Now if you see any comments about Ishaara on Google, Zomato, wherever, you will see one of my staff's name there on almost 90% of the comments because they are so eager to connect. And so we were lucky that it happened. In all my other restaurants, it doesn't. In all the other brands, it doesn't. But in Ishaara, it does. Sometimes you walk into a restaurant and you look at the staff and it's written all over his face, his or her. Then, oh my God, yeah. One more, another 2 hours. You walk into Ishaara, you'll see the difference. It's like at 11:30, which is the last order, is like 11:15, they will still pull you in. So it is a willingness. You cannot create willingness. I remember one of my mentors once told me, why don't people smile in our restaurant? And I said, yeah, I try to keep them happy. He said, don't try to keep them happy, just make them smile. Because I don't have 200 psychologists or psychiatrists walking to your restaurant every day. I have just 200 people. They just want to see smiling faces. It's okay. So again, habit comes in.
Yeah.
So that's what we really end up doing, So I don't know if I answered your question, but
No, it does, absolutely. I mean, any ways to personalize the guest experience is what we're trying to do. Yeah. Siddhant and Gordon, maybe,
I think this is very tricky because, so I talk about offline because online it's very difficult. I don't know with the data. Very difficult to pursue who your real customers are. So for us, I think the reaction plays a very important role. And for us, what is the key differentiator is how our menu is positioned. Okay, and you not realize as consumers, but we do a lot of playfulness in our menu. And we try to figure out how the reaction is. Okay, like you don't have name tags in this thing. We don't put flavor tags in our counters because we want the customer to ask what flavor concept. Yeah. Right? So these are small things that we do so that at least there is some interaction. Otherwise, if you have the flavor tag, you will say, give me this coconut, give me this mango.
Yeah.
What is this yellow color? Oh, it's passion fruit. So that is very important for us. Also, what is very important is when a customer walks in, what we realize, of course, we have to smile, greet, that's like the DNA of hospitality. What we realize is we have to also be feedback accepting. When you leave, it should feel your store or your outlet or your restaurant is, they are willing to take feedback. I think that is where technology, I think, plays a very critical role. Where I don't know whether I don't feel, maybe I'm not feeling welcome to give my feedback. Okay, and feedback is very critical because the customers, I always tell to my team, the customers who give you feedback, critical feedback, I'm talking about, are actually your loyal customers because they want you to improve. Otherwise, those are the dangerous customers who will not say anything, leave and they'll never come. In fact, you go out and say 10 people don't go there. So the actually customer who takes the pain to write to you or to leave a review is actually a loyal customer because he wants you to improve. He didn't expect, he expected 10 on 10, you delivered 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's why he's writing. That's where I think technology plays a very important role.
I think as rightly said, I think automation is something which is good. Technology and all this is good, but we all should remember that we are in the hospitality service customers first, and personalization is something which is required. If my guest walks in first at the entry, and if that eye contact has to be there, that personal connection, that manager visiting the table is so important, and taking the feedback. At times, we also encourage a chef to go to the table, and give that kind of personalized, speak to them about the dishes and all, which customer likes. It's very rare which you see in most of the restaurants, but we encourage our chefs to go to the table. I think this all doesn't come in automation. It doesn't cover. As we said that customer leave a note, and sometimes they write a long literature about the entire experience what they have. It takes time, it takes effort, And why would he really care? I mean, why is he caring about you and liking that? He can just walk out, he can say, look, I didn't like your food, please refund, please, I'm not coming back. That is an easy way for him to walk away. But he also cares, he values your brand. He's basically giving that so that that doesn't mean that it's going back under your drawer or something, but at the same time, a manager or maybe some of the lead team members, the issues are escalated and people are worked and they answer to those queries also. I think that all is personalization. So automation, what it does is basically you leave a complaint. Thanks for reaching out, blah, 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 we'll get back to you. That's what. I mean, that is so like an auto thing which goes. I mean, that completely, disconnects the customer brand with us. So I think what we do, I'm sure you must be knowing that whatever positive complaints, yes, we have a standard thing, acknowledging and all. Everybody loves to have the positive feedback. But for negative, at least we ensure that it reaches up to the highest level. We intervene, we check in each and every department where we went wrong. We tell the customers that look, we are working on it, and we come back with the answer. I mean, that is something which we have been doing it. I personally at times call the customer. Our founders also at times get involved in calling the customers to give that personal experience. So I think that connect has to be there. It cannot be lost if we are in this business.
Wow. Or do you think that personalization, that human element has to be there? Like your founders, you're personally calling. Do you guys look at scaling, you are adding more and more outlets? Just thinking, like, obviously feedback is very important, and like you guys all shared that, customers who care about telling you what you should improve on is obviously very valuable. But when you think about scaling those experiences with more and more customers, more and more outlets that you will add, how do you see the way forward from personalization with a human element perspective?
So to answer to that, I'm not saying the tech and the automation is in terms of replying and connecting with the customers, that is what I would avoid. But in terms of data collection, in terms of the knowing customers' pattern, the behavior, when the customer walks in, immediately it prompts, I know what you're going to have today, and the waiter server knows in advance in terms of that is my guest, his name, and what is his dish. That is something I would want the system to tell me. I would also want to store important dates of the customers. I forget obviously my wife's birthday, and obviously, so she is like on me completely. So I think we all forget. I mean, the system what it tells is basically that these are the important days. How you need to treat them, especially when they walk into your restaurant, pamper them, give them some kind of freebies or something like that, so that they recognize you and they come to your outlet. I think that is where it is, and obviously data is very important. And over a period of time, if manually, if you write the phone numbers and all, it changes or it has been lost, it is not been tracked properly. But behind the system, I think we've been able to capture a lot of data, which help us to educate, helps us to create that kind of awareness or information, pass on the information to the customer that what we are doing and what the customer needs to know. Not in the form of targeting them and marketing, but in terms of information. That's what
Connecting with them.
Yeah.
Just check if anyone in the audience has any questions that they would like to ask everyone or two. Yes.
Hello. Hi, very good evening everyone. My question to all of you is, do you believe that digital marketing, when I say digital marketing, I mean SEO and performance marketing, help QSR business?
No. No. For us, performance marketing, this is my understanding, and we usually have this healthy debate. There are three important things especially in food. One is the product control, second is the delivery, and third is the experience. Unfortunately, we are in a very perishable product. Having control on all three of these three things, very impossible. If you are able to do all of the three, I think only Domino's has been able to do, they control the product, they do their deliveries wholesome, and they control the experience. On a large scale, I can only recall Domino's doing it. For them, doing performance marketing works because they pop up an ad, redirect it to their website, to their own, maybe their channel. Since they own these three things, they will be able to deliver. Otherwise, performance marketing doesn't work. But on a contrary, if you want to do R&D, just do a soft launch, test it. Performance marketing might give you results because you get a customer data, and then you can do a call probably after a week asking, did you like it or not? For that, you will have to burn. You are burning in performance marketing, but that feedback might be important for you to do your R&D. Other than that, if you don't own these three, and in the food business, it's very difficult to have your own delivery fleet, also owning the product, and then also owning the experience, very difficult. Performance marketing for me, I personally feel doesn't work.
So I've not done QSRs yet. I've heard good and bad things about performance marketing. Bad thing is you burn a lot of money. Good thing is in the short term it helps you. We are living in a short term world. Sometimes you start a product. I know KFC benefits a lot with it. If you have the money to burn, it's about if you can afford a Ferrari, then buy it. You know, but then you have to pay for the maintenance. So once you get into it, it's like it's a habit. What is the return? Whether it is profitable or not is another question. But does it help? Initially, it does. So I also believe nothing ventured, nothing gained. I also believe challenge the status quo. I also believe challenge conventional wisdom. So there's nothing right or wrong, black or white in the world anymore. It's a complex world. So it can work. How well is it done? Who is it doing it for you? There are certain companies that do it better than others because certain companies understand it more than others. Now, whether you go to those companies or you go to Chat GPT or AI, you never know. So the world is changing so fast. You have to keep pace. If you want to try it, I mean, 20 people might tell you no and one person might tell you yes. Then depends on how much of a risk taker you are.
Any other questions?
Everyone, thank you, So, I'm a 21-year-old barista, extremely passionate about coffee, and if I had to have one question from you guys, I've been getting on the time. If you were 21-year-old and having no experience, what would be that one advice that you would me to, that you would give me to start up my venture?
The question is, what would your advice be to a 21-year-old starting a coffee venture today?
Don't get into food business.
क्या कर दिया?
Because Gordon and me have started our career together at 21 in the coffee industry only.
You guys met barista.
Although we didn't fail miserably because it was somebody else's money. But if it was our own, we would have failed miserably. Trust me. Don't get into food. Gordon?
That's not the answer. He was.
No, but I somewhat, if you have something, if you have good loads of money at back, you want to try something, I think you should try it. I'm not putting you in the direction because you're still young, but some key advice is that don't do it just because everybody is doing. I would say just understand the ground rule. Work in a coffee shop before you get into that business. See in terms of how to manage how to get revenue in terms of what is required to get that revenue, what are the costs involved, and how much efforts does it take. I think if you know this entire game, if you understand this, okay, then you jump for it. And that's my advice to you. Because what happens in today's generation, what I see is a lot of people are excited that मेरा भी एक restaurant होना चाहिए, right? So in that bargain, what happens is, so what happens is people just jump in because they see that flashy outside world in terms of wow, the restaurant is chal raha hai, so many people are coming in now. We've got so many people right now here, but believe me, it takes a lot of efforts, a lot of time, a lot of energy to get this number of people to your outlet. And it also takes that much of same efforts to train your team, to maintain your each inventory, your cost, and all that things. At the end of the day, if you do all those efforts, you spend your 24 hours a day, here you don't sleep, you don't get the data sleep. Huh? And after doing that, if you're not getting any returns, then I don't think you should touch that.
Yeah, so I come from a very small tier 3.
So you're enjoying that, right? So I think if you're already in that game, don't rush to the number game of 600,000 and all together. I think slow and steady. If you already know the game right now, then it's easier for you to. What is required is to understand the concept, the brand value, and all. That is what you need to start penetrating in different cities. If you conquer that, I think then you can very much in the game, and that's what I feel.
When Gordon was mentioning enjoying, he meant, are you making money? And then you are enjoying. Then you can go places. That was his notation for the question of enjoying. He is making money. If he is making money, I think you can go places. Trust me.
Anyone advise? One.
Great man, already you are taking the first lead. I think you are already in the rat race. So, I think it's more to learn from you now because what you have started, what you've built, it will be great to connect with you after this event. But I think in advice, see a lot of people will give you advice. Free advice to I think what your gut says now, because you build it, it's your area, right? You know, maybe 600 for you might be a mathematical number, but maybe you can achieve it with 60 stores. I don't know. So do what you feel like, okay? Because scale has a cost. I'm not scaring you. Scale has a cost. You need the tea and coffee that barista with the specialty would need it, right? So I think follow your heart. I think you already taken the first leap. Maybe the second leap is just follow your instinct. Get good people on board. Get smarter people on board. Smarter than you. Help you out. Figure this journey out. You will do great. This is doing franchise, so I'll answer this one. I think it again depends upon you. What do you want to achieve? अगर आपको जल्दी स्केल करना है तो फ्रेंचाइज जैसा मॉडल और कोई नहीं है, राइट? बट फ्रेंचाइज हैज लॉट ऑफ रिस्क, ओके? इट्स लाइक आपने आपका बच्चा किसी और को दे दिया बड़ा करने, थिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, या सो फॉर अस आई टेल यू व्हाई फ्रेंचाइजिंग वर्क फॉर अस, maybe you can relate to your brand or your product, because my dad said let's make a very easy product that anyone can sell. So we call it a wine shop model. I mean, wine shop, anyone can open, because the customer is saying black label dena, black label, right? It's a wine shop model. Ice cream, the franchise has to do nothing. Had it, if I would have told them to make the ice cream in the store, boss, I'm sorry, I wouldn't have even 10 stores. I would have failed. So you need to figure out what your product is. I'm not sure what aapka kya brand hai, what product you have. But you have to see if it can be, franchise can, because you are giving your brand to someone, you need to have very strong SOP. I think that's up to McDonald's. They have actually, taught us how to do franchising. Actually, when they entered in '94, the word franchising we learned from them. So they know what they have done. I think it has to be process SOP driven. If your product allows you to give it to someone else and you have strong controls, you will be able to do it. Otherwise, figure them out with 3-4 kitchens, probably make it a robust SOP, then you can probably think about franchise.
He has created a business, but that outlets which I make franchise, they are not doing well. I create
Jenika.
34. Yes, I have 34 outlets of the Redrix brand, but that franchisee owners are not doing good as I want, because I have given kitchen to them. Like
I think I've answered this thing. You need to figure out how do you control. Maybe a mother kitchen, it's probably, I don't know. Yeah, and then they order regularly. You have a control whether they are following people or no. Everything is batch wise. Controls take help of every customer, which batch is going. And then, so a lot of hard work. It's not easy, but perfect one store, perfect two store, perfect two demographics, and Mumbai Pune strong enough, then I think it's a good job.
Thank you. We have one question.
My question is to you. So I'm a gelato maker from Mumbai. It's called Bellona Gelato. So first of all, congratulations on having a son. I have a big list of questions, but I think we'll have a short time.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. So I just wanted to understand, being in a city like Tier 1 like Mumbai with extremely high rentals, and your sale being marginally just limited to a few hours. So how do you view your business as just a few hours, let's say 8 to 1 o'clock, that's your majority sales? And how do you perform in Tier 2 and Tier 3 where the rentals are much lower? That would be my first question. And the second question is, as you said, this is somebody, you're giving your baby to somebody else. So why did Naturals open its own company-owned store like Kamath stores and get that better margin for the company itself rather than giving it all franchise and not having a, let's say, a ratio of 27, 20, 30 or whatever ratio, or 50-50, 50 company-owned, 50 franchise? Why? What are the thinking in that? Yeah, those are the two questions. Thank you.
At a time, I tried your product, very good product. So in 1984, when my father started, franchising was not because that was the only option for him to scale. Banks were not ready to give loan. There was no VC funding at that time. So franchising was the only option for him. And who were the franchise? If you see who were the initial first few franchise, was my freezer supplier, was my milk supplier, was my pista supplier. So it was within the ecosystem, right? Your friends, family became your first franchise. Okay, that's how our business grew. Those were my initial first few franchise. We feel very proud that they're still associated with us. Right? Now their kids have joined the business, and now they have aspirations to, take my brand ahead. So why not? Because they are from my same ecosystem. So for me, my franchise story probably worked for me. Maybe you have to figure out in your own journey how franchising works. Coming to the second point about Tier 1 and Tier 2, Tier 3, I feel yes, there is a difference. Okay, but I feel Tier 2, Tier 3 should not be neglected. There is great consumption and there is a lot of aspirational consumption. Okay, they have the disposable income, they have the money, they want quality, and they also want that aspirational spend, so they will go all out to your product. You will scale in Tier 2, Tier 3. I think how your brand talks, I've seen your store, you have figured the branding out. Okay, so it should look presentable, you have already cracked that. And when you enter Tier 2, Tier 3, if you connect with the local audience, you will shake this. There is no problem. Talking about rental is funny because the square foot cost is ridiculous now. It's going crazy. Delhi is even worse. And surprisingly, Bangalore is known as the hub of all the QSRs, the new age food products. So it's again crazy. So here you will have to figure out your margins. You will have to figure out your menu. And yes, our product is 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. So we need to optimize accordingly. So optimization plays a very important role. So for example, what our strategy is, दिखाने का डांस और खाने का डांस. दिखाने का डांस is your background, Lokhandwala, the marquee destination. खाने का डांस will be your Kandivali, your Borivali, the Thane. I'm being honest here. Okay, so that economics you will have to figure it out.
Thank you so much.
We did speak a little about personalization, Prashant has spoken about quality control and people and experiences. So, how do you think infusing tech and AI into this brings about a change? If you guys have some insights on how we can use tech and AI and leverage that perhaps into this industry and business, and if you guys are doing something about it, or if you have some ideas around it, if you can share your thoughts.
I think he can answer that question.
Yeah.
I think this was a planted question.
I don't think he wants to hear from me. He doesn't want to hear
Start
from me.
with very rudely, let me tell you, a lot of marketing people lose their jobs soon to start with. I think AI is in, AI powered is in. I think a lot of things will happen through AI. I think yesterday I was trying to ask AI how to increase sales. Yeah, right? I didn't get the right answer, I think. But I not using AI, trust me, you are not in the game anymore. AI even tells you what is the right flavor for your product for that particular day. So I think AI is here to stay. Anybody who is not using AI has to leave the business slowly.
I'll add to that. As absolutely novice in digital, I am also understanding AI quite a lot. And I realized, what does it do? I mean, if we do a search on Google, we get so many responses and we have to choose. It does all that for you. And it then also learns about you as you keep on, interacting with it. And it gives you more and more answers. It learns about your product. It gives you more relevant answers, etc., etc. At the end of the day, you have to pick and choose. But there are platforms. We think, AI will take over digital marketeers, marketing agencies. So if we as businesses are here, AI is here, the digital agencies are here, and we'll be foolish to think that they are not doing anything about it. They are closer to the sun. They will understand the sun a lot more. They'll get the warmth and the light from it, and they will integrate it into their business, thereby becoming the conduit for us. So people think, oh my God, what will happen to marketing teams? Nothing. They have another tool, and they have to use that tool wisely. If all the founders, and we founders are very stingy with our money, so the first thing I was thinking, okay, I'm going to save so much on wages. It is not going to happen. You will have to get better marketeers, you'll have to get better digital agencies. They will charge you more, but they'll give you better relevant answers. You'll be able to use them, make better business. So it'll all help. It's an ecosystem. There's no need to be apprehensive or scared or nervous about it. Don't hate the game, play the game. Welcome it and see where it helps you. And then integrate it in technology, automation we've been talking about, integrate it into your point of sale. So everything comes around. Not every staff of yours will look into the guest history and say, last time he ordered this, let me go and tell him that. It will not happen. The more person agnostic a process is, it can still have touch points with the guest, which will help him come back and think that the company and the brand has worked on it. It is not dependent on one person, and today it's his or her day off, and then we are not going to have a great experience.